The Wall Street Journal breaking the news that an IRS supervisor is seeking whistleblower protections, suggesting they have information regarding the Biden administration improperly handling the criminal investigation into Hunter Biden.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about not one, but two pieces of information about the whole Hunter Biden laptop scandal that are breaking as of right now. And I think a couple of them we already knew from the beginning. The first one is about the laptop story back in 2020. Remember when that came out right before the election, the October surprise, if you will, or really November surprise? Remember, there was a letter signed by, quote unquote, 50 former intelligence officers. Well, that letter was organized on behalf of the Biden administration. Let me explain. So Tony Blinken, who is now the Secretary of State, if I'm not mistaken, he was at the time a Biden advisor on the campaign. He goes to the former CIA director, Mike Morell, and says, hey, man, we have this problem with Hunter Biden in the laptop. Can you organize 50 people and have them sign this letter saying that it's Russian disinformation, Russian propaganda? Can you do that for me? And he says, yes. And actually, I have sworn testimony from Mike Morell. I will place that in the description, also right here on the screen before you. Check it out. So prior to the Tony Blinken call, you did not have intent to write this statement? Mike Morell, I did not. And then the next question, so it's called trigger that intent? Mike Morell, yes, absolutely. Jim Jordan asks, you wanted to help the vice president? Why? Mike Morell, because I wanted him to win the election. He says this in sworn testimony, okay? He says, I wanted to help the president win the election. This is the former CIA director, Mike Morell. Now, I don't know if he was the director at the time, but it doesn't really matter. He's a former CIA director using his network to get guys to sign on a letter to help Joe Biden win the election. If not for what Mike Morell did, Joe Biden probably wouldn't be in office, because when that letter came out, it was used to totally discredit the whole thing. Okay, check this out right here. This is Joe Biden talking about the letter when he's asked about the laptop.
We have 4 days left, and all of a sudden there's a laptop. There's overwhelming evidence that from the intelligence community that the Russians are engaged.
I still think that the stories from the fall about your son Hunter were Russian disinformation at his smear campaign.
He just totally avoiding it.
Like you said.
Yes. I know you'd ask it. I have no response.
So he doesn't want to talk about it. And then here is the media talking about the letter, the fake letter that was written to help Joe Biden win the election. Again, we have sworn testimony right here. The documents are right here. I'll link to it in the box. Okay, check it out.
Secret emails.
A really fishy story.
The Post claimed that the emails were found on a laptop computer that was brought to a repair shop in Delaware in the spring of 2019.
The FBI is now investigating whether those alleged Hunter Biden emails are actually connected to a larger foreign intelligence operation.
They may be related to a foreign intelligence operation.
Foreign intelligence operation.
You get the drift, right? Foreign intelligence operation. This all comes from the letter that is really fake, because if the reason why the letter was written is because you wanted to see Joe Biden win the election, it was prompted by a phone call. Hey, organize some guys, have them sign this letter, and then that's it. These guys probably signed a letter, didn't even read it, didn't even do any research. You know, the average normie may think that these guys looked into this story and these are the top brains of the world. All that happened was they got a phone call and say, hey, man, do me a favor, sign this letter. All right, cool, no problem. I hate Trump, never Trump. And then that's what happened. That's what happened back in 2020, right before the election. Now, Hunter Biden is still under investigation by the GOP, by the House Republicans for the laptop, because we now know the laptop is in fact real. That's him talking about 10 for the big guy. That's him smoking crack. That's him on the laptop. We know the laptop is real. It's not fake. Now he's being investigated as a result of that. And we have more news to break. An IRS whistleblower is saying that the investigation that's happening right now is not being done very properly. And as a matter of fact, you got people at the very top, meaning the Attorney General Merrick Garland involved with the corruption of the investigation. Now I have that, and I will again link to it in the description. Also, if you're on IG, link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website, but check it out right here. Attorney General Merrick Garland is senior Biden official and Hunter Biden IRS whistleblower claim. Okay, so that's that right there. Let's read some of this article. So Merrick Garland is an unnamed official whose sworn testimony before Congress is being challenged in the bombshell letter from an IRS whistleblower's attorney that also alleges a cover-up in the Hunter Biden criminal investigation, the Post has learned. Attorney Mark Lido wrote Wednesday that the longtime IRS employee, 10 years, wants to provide information to congressional leaders to contradict sworn testimony to Congress by a senior political appointee, Garland, and also to detail preferential treatment in the criminal probe of the first son. So there you have it right there. Okay, there you have it right there. And we have more. Let's get into this news clip from NBC to see what they're talking about as it relates to this part. See, this is separate from the 2020 situation with the letter. This is about the current investigation happening right now into the Hunter Biden laptop. Let's check it out.
The Wall Street Journal breaking the news that an IRS supervisor is seeking whistleblower protections, suggesting they have information regarding the Biden administration improperly handling the criminal investigation into Hunter Biden. NBC News tonight obtaining the letter sent to Congress saying that the IRS supervisor is ready to disclose information, and this is the important part here, quote, that would contradict sworn testimony to Congress by a senior political appointee. Number two, involve failure to mitigate clear conflicts of interest in the ultimate disposition of the case. And three, detail examples of preferential treatment and politics improperly infecting decisions and protocols.
Are you surprised at this? Are you really surprised at this? I mean, we can't be surprised here. We know that this would be the case. We know how corrupt the federal government is. And we knew that back in 2020 when they covered that story up and they didn't even let the New York Post post it on Twitter. Like, we knew what that was from the jump. We knew that the letter was signed. That was some federal corruption going on. We knew that the story was blocked on social media. That was federal corruption going on. I think Elon Musk even said that the federales had access to Twitter and they could pretty much make them do whatever they want them to do. This is widespread corruption, really ridiculous, really crazy. All these links and stories and sources I'll put in the box. There is so much to cover. I don't want to be on this video for like a half hour covering it. But as I close, I want to say this. No surprise here. Again, you have not one, but two different stories that relate to the same thing, trying to protect Hunter Biden in order to protect Joe Biden. Because if not for the 2020 cover-up and the fake letter that was signed off on by 50 so-called intelligence officials, if not for that, then I believe Biden loses and Trump wins. That's just my opinion. And if I'm wrong about that, I know that it at least affected the election. Again, you have sworn testimony from the former CIA director who says the reason why he had that letter signed, the reason why he was involved with it is because he wanted Joe Biden to win the election. So if a former CIA director says that the letter probably helped Joe Biden win, I take him by his word. Maybe it did. Just maybe. But you have that, and then you have the current investigation into Hunter Biden not really going very well. They're showing favoritism. Imagine my surprise. Imagine my surprise when I read that. Totally ridiculous, totally crazy. The swamp is real. The federal government might be cooked. Local government, that's your best bet to make things happen. On a federal level, we need a whole lot of work to be done very soon because this is ridiculous, shameful, and it's an embarrassment to our country and the entire world is watching. Unreal. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? Are you surprised at anything that you have heard and seen in this video? Did you pretty much know this was going on? But now we have confirmation. Ain't no tinfoil hat. Ain't no, oh, well, you know what you're talking about. You're making things up. We have evidence. We have documents. We have, aside from having common sense, now that's backed up by documents to prove our case. But whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I'm not surprised at all. I feel vindicated because we've been able to verify the things that we have known for months and years now. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.